there, everyone. Thanks again for tuning to Sin's Workshop. Hope you're having a wonderful day. Today, we are going to be discussing I Will Leave You Never, and this is a book I wish I had never read. I got this book for free from the publisher. You know, the synopsis seemed really interesting. Here's, briefly what it's about. In the middle of a perilous drought in the Northwest, an arsonist begins setting fires all around. It gives Zoe Penny nightmares about her home. Seated right next to her, tinder dry woods, rising up explosives, fire, as well as haunting dreams of a little boy in the forest. Winter brings longed for rains, but also a cancer diagnosis for Zoe's husband Jay, which plunges the family into disbelief and fear. That's it. That's the gist of it, right? I thought it was going to be something, really interesting. You have an arsonist, right? And then she's having these dreams of a little boy in the forest. First of all, those dreams were pointless. Those dreams were absolutely pointless in the book. I absolutely hated them because they served no purpose to the plot. I can't stress that enough. They existed for no reason. I thought, is she going to have some sort of weird connection to the arsonist? No. Spoiler alert, the arsonist was just the newspaper writer's son. That's it. He just did it for fame. He was just doing it for anarchy, for chaos. Not more to the point. The arsonist storyline gets washed out. It gets completely washed out when her husband gets his cancer diagnosis. It's like, okay, so are you supposed to be a mystery thriller? Like, what is happening with this story? I really couldn't. Oh, God, I hated this book so much. I also hate Zoe. She is the worst human being alive. A neighbor moves in. His name is Ray. Sweet guy, but everyone ostracizes him in the neighborhood, except for the kids. The kids are like, no, he's a pretty nice guy. She's like, I don't want you hanging around him. He's a bad guy. Just because he put a scary decoration for Halloween that no one agreed with, was it a well thought out decoration? No, but no one even bothered to get to know this guy. He was a nice guy. And people, there's this one family that lets their kids just beat up this old man. I'm just like, Zoe does nothing. She hits his dog at one point, and it's like she has no emotion whatsoever, even though she pays for the dog, the vet visit. She pays for everything. But her entire dialogue during that entire scene was emotionless. It's like, okay, are you a sociopath at this point? Her relationship with her husband is weird, especially her friend who kisses her husband at one point. I'm just like, what's happening? Like, what is going on with the whole dynamics between her and her husband, the dynamics between her and her friends? It all seems very emotionless, I'm going to say it. It was just such a dry read, You have this dream element, you do nothing with it. You have this arsonist element, you do nothing with it. Why even bother with those two? Just focus on building up Zoe's relationship with her husband. More to the point, there's a lot of flashbacks, and the transition to the flashbacks are not always distinct and clear. I got lost. I'm like, wait. I'd be reading it, and I'm like, oh, wait, we're in the past now. This is a flashback. It was not clear, it was not concise, and then when you flash forward to the future, or present day, I should say, again, it's unclear. It's like it meshes together, and I was not a fan of it. I really so wish I had put this book on the did not finish pile because it was such a waste of my time. I'm so angry that I spent my time reading this book because it was pointless and Zoe's awful and she's emotionless. I really do think she's a sociopath. It was just a terrible book. I hated it. I hated this book. There, I said it. I said it. Not my favorite book. I really wish I hadn't read it. Thank you, publisher, for giving me a copy of this book, but I'm say I really wish I had said no at this point because it was just such a terrible waste of my time. So yeah, this book it gets 1 star. I initially gave it 2. Because I'm like, well, at least I finished it, right? At least I finished the book. It was not a good book. I cannot stress that enough. I hated it. And I just wanted so much more from this. Thanks Booksparks for giving me this copy, but it was just terrible. Sorry, not sorry. So yeah. However, that's my opinion. My opinion is my own. If you want to go ahead and check it out yourself, I will include links in the description below where to purchase the book. And on that note, thanks again for tuning in. Please don't forget to like the podcast, subscribe to it, and share it with all your book loving friends. You can also become a supporter on Buy Me Coffee, Ko-fi, Patreon, or purchasing one of my handmade candles. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day, and as always, happy reading.